What if I told you that most of what airlines call help isn't kindness at all? What if the wheelchair, the early boarding, the calm escort through security, the seat that actually lets your knees breathe, what if none of that was a favor? What if it was the law? Because for decades, airlines haven't been denying passengers their rights. They've been doing something far more effective. They've stayed quiet. They've trained their staff to use softer words. They've taught travelers to feel grateful instead of informed. And they've relied on one very American habit: politeness, especially from people over 60. You see, airlines don't need to say no. They just need you not to ask, or to ask the wrong way, or to feel like you're asking for something extra. And that's where the system works against you. Flying today isn't just about tickets and luggage, it's a test of language. And the people who know the words move through airports very differently than the people who don't. So stay with me, because one sentence you learn today could change every flight you ever take. If you or someone you love is over 60 and flies even once a year, you'll want this saved. Subscribe now before your next trip becomes harder than it needs to be. Right 1. Hidden senior fares, the disappearing discount. Most travelers over 60 have noticed something frustrating. The senior fare seems to have disappeared. You search online and all you see are the same prices everyone else pays. Here's why. Airlines run dynamic pricing algorithms. They're designed to show the highest fare possible to the largest number of people. A fixed-rate senior fare would disrupt that system. But the truth is, it hasn't vanished. It's still there, hidden in old fare buckets that are not connected to the website. You just have to know where to look. Delta, United, American, these carriers still offer senior fares. But here's the catch. You won't find them online. You must call the airline's reservation line. And it's not enough to ask politely. Do not say, "Do you have any discounts?" That question triggers a search only in the online system, the fares you already saw. Instead, say exactly, "Please check for a senior fare for a passenger over 65 on this route." These words do something almost magical. They force the agent to search the hidden system, the legacy fare buckets that are rarely accessed. Suddenly, a fare $50, $100, even $200 cheaper than the online price can appear. Mini life lesson. Systems reward specificity, not politeness. The more precise your language, the better the result. Airlines don't advertise this because it costs them money. They count on you not knowing. So here's a simple truth. The moment you learn the right words, you move from being a passive passenger to an informed traveler. Subscribe now, because every ticket you buy without this knowledge is money left on the table. Protect yourself. Don't pay for ignorance. Right 2. TSA Cares, your personal security advocate. Airports can feel overwhelming. Lines stretch for blocks, instructions come fast, shoes off, laptops out, liquid separated, belts removed. And for many travelers, especially those over 60, it's exhausting, physically and mentally. But there's a little-known service that can transform that experience entirely. It's called TSA Cares, and it's not run by the airlines. This is the Transportation Security Administration itself providing direct support. When you call the TSA Cares Helpline, you are connected to a passenger support specialist, a trained officer whose sole role is to guide you through security. You don't need a diagnosis or medical documentation. You simply explain what you need. Anxiety qualifies. Mobility issues qualify. Cognitive or sensory challenges qualify. All it takes is one call, at least 72 hours before your flight. Give them your flight details. Briefly explain the assistance you need. For example, "I need TSA Cares assistance due to anxiety and medical needs." From that moment, the difference is immediate. Instead of rushing, crowded lanes, and confusion, you experience calm. One specialist meets you before security, explains each step, helps manage devices like CPAPs or insulin pumps, and walks you through the process at your pace. Imagine chaos outside, calm inside. The world is moving fast, but your journey moves with dignity. You are not a burden. You are protected by the law. And the best part, this service is 100% free. No hidden fees, no forms to fill out. Just one clear request using the right words. Knowing this transforms fear into confidence. One phone call and the part of air travel most people dread becomes manageable, even smooth.
Fear is often a lack of information. Armed with knowledge and the correct phrasing, you reclaim control over an intimidating system. Right 3. Free accessible seating. Language equals money. Airlines love to sell comfort. Extra legroom, aisle seats, bulkhead rows, all presented as upgrades. But here's what most travelers don't realize. For passengers with medical needs, these aren't upgrades, they're legal accommodations. If your needs can't bend, if arthritis makes long flights painful, if frequent restroom access is necessary, those seats are covered under federal law. Accessible seating is your right, not a luxury. And the language you use determines whether you get it or end up paying. Do not say, "Can I get an aisle seat?" That's a request. That's optional. That's money in their pocket. Instead, say exactly, "I require an aisle seat as a disability accommodation." Or for legroom, "Due to a medical condition, I require a bulkhead seat or a seat with equivalent legroom as an accommodation." Traveling with a care attendant, you are entitled to have them seated next to you at no extra charge. Say it, state it. Don't assume it will happen automatically. And here's another insider truth. The online seat map isn't real. Airlines hold back the best accessible seats for airport control. The gate agent has the true map. Arrive early, speak clearly, use the require language. One correctly phrased statement can save hundreds of dollars and secure comfort you need for the flight. In the world of air travel, words are currency. The right words can turn a stressful, confusing airport into a manageable, even dignified experience. Guided airport assistance. Meet and assist. Imagine walking through an airport without rushing, without being jostled, without the constant worry of missing your gate. That's exactly what guided airport assistance, or Meet and Assist, offers. And it's completely free. This isn't a VIP perk, it's a federally protected right. From the moment you arrive curbside, a trained escort can guide you all the way to your plane. Curb to check-in, through security, to your gate, onto the aircraft, and even from baggage claim to your ride at the destination. Airlines don't advertise this. Every passenger who uses it represents extra cost to them. That's why most travelers never see it. Who qualifies? Anyone who feels overwhelmed by the crowds, struggles with balance, has sensory sensitivities, or simply needs support navigating chaos. Age, mobility, or medical conditions are enough. Traveling with a family member? You can request an escort pass allowing them to accompany you through security and wait at the gate. It restores the kind of dignity and family support airports used to offer years ago. And here's the key. Language matters. Never ask, "Can someone help me?" That's the question. Weak, ineffective. Instead, say clearly, "I require guided assistance due to a mobility impairment." Those words trigger the system, create a record, and guarantee compliance. In airports, knowing the right phrase turns a stressful journey into a calm, managed experience. One statement spoken correctly can transform the entire trip. If you want your parents or grandparents treated with dignity while flying, subscribe now because no one else is explaining this to them.
Right number 5. Medical equipment flies free. Airlines make billions from baggage fees. Checked bags, carry-ons, even a single extra suitcase, each is a revenue stream. But here's a fact most travelers don't know. Medical equipment never counts toward your baggage limit. This isn't a favor, it's the law. Under federal regulations, items that assist your mobility or health fly free. The definition is broad. CPAP machines, walkers, canes, crutches, insulin coolers, medications, portable oxygen devices, even extra batteries are all included. You don't need a prescription, a doctor's note, or special forms. How you ask matters. Never phrase it as a question. "Can I check my medical equipment?" Instead, say firmly, "I am carrying medical equipment exempt from baggage fees." One clear statement creates a legal obligation. One precise phrase saves 60, 120, even more on a single trip. Here's another insight. Keeping a dedicated medical bag isn't just about legality, it's about hygiene and safety. A separate bag keeps devices clean, organized, and protected from damage. Your CPAP isn't mingling with beach towels. Your medications are accessible. Your travel is safer. Small steps, precise words, and preparation turn potential frustration into financial relief and personal safety. Age-based TSA modifications, 75+.
Flying after 75 comes with a quiet advantage most travelers don't know exists. The TSA recognizes that age matters, and it provides accommodations to make security screening calmer, safer, and less stressful. First, the basics. Shoes stay on. Light jackets stay on. No more frantic fumbling under the pressure of impatient lines. You move through security with dignity, not chaos. If a pat-down is required, you are allowed to remain seated. No standing in line, no straining your back or knees. This isn't a favor, it's your right. For those with pacemakers, joint replacements, or other medical devices, you can discreetly use a TSA notification card. Provided by your doctor, this card communicates your needs clearly without forcing you to explain or justify your medical condition aloud. Here's the crucial mindset. You don't have to rush. You don't have to suffer silently. Federal rules exist to protect you. Using them transforms a stressful checkpoint into a calm, controlled experience. Preparation, awareness, and the right phrasing turn security from a hurdle into a predictable, manageable step of your journey. Right number 7, pre-boarding, the anxiety killer. Picture the boarding gate. Chaos everywhere. Passengers crowding, carry-on stacked, stress building. Now imagine walking onto that plane before everyone else, calm, unhurried, with your companion by your side. That's pre-boarding, and it's your right. This is not just a courtesy. Federal rules recognize that walking and standing are major life activities. If you need extra time to settle in, you qualify. Your companion, who assists you, boards with you, also legally protected. Here's the power phrase. I need pre-boarding as I require additional time to get settled. Saying it this way isn't a request, it's a legal instruction. The airline is obligated to comply. If this is already changing how you think about flying, subscribe now. You don't want to face a delay or cancellation without knowing what comes next. Right number 8, priority during delays and cancellations. Picture this. Your flight is canceled. The departure board flashes red. Passengers are panicking, crowding the service desk. Lines stretch endlessly. Tempers flare. Now imagine walking past the chaos straight to a representative who is legally required to help first. Here's how it works. When you've pre-registered for special assistance, whether guided airport help, pre-boarding, or mobility accommodations, the airline flags your reservation. This flag ensures manual rebooking, not automatic online systems, putting you at the front of the line for alternative flights. But it doesn't stop there. Federal regulations also cover hardship accommodations. If delays are extended, airlines must consider hotels, meals, and ground transportation for travelers with medical or mobility needs. Your preparation is what triggers this protection. Exact phrasing matters. Never ask. State, I am a passenger with pre-registered medical needs and require priority rebooking. This language transforms a stressful, chaotic scenario into a managed, controlled process. Lines, frustration, and lost time are replaced with legal leverage and calm. Preparation beats panic. One phone call, one request, one flag reservation can turn a nightmare into a smooth, supported journey. Tarmac delay protections. You're seated. Doors closed. The plane isn't moving. Minutes turn into hours. Anxiety rises. This is where tarmac delay protections come into play, a set of federally enforced rules designed to safeguard your health, dignity, and comfort. For domestic flights, 2 hours on the tarmac triggers mandatory food and water provision. For international flights, that extends to 4 hours. After 3 hours domestically or 4 internationally, the airline is required to allow passengers to deplane. If you have medical conditions, these timelines shift in your favor. Diabetics, travelers with mobility issues, or anyone needing medication takes priority. The law recognizes that waiting can be dangerous, not just uncomfortable. Here's the practical tip. Your call button isn't rudeness, it's authority. Politely press it. State your need. Flight attendant, I have a medical condition and need water or snacks immediately. This one small action invokes your federally protected rights. It turns helpless waiting into active, empowered control of your situation. Knowing the rules gives you power over what would otherwise feel like an uncontrollable situation. Enforcement, CRO, and DOT complaints. Even with all the right requests, sometimes an airline employee hesitates or says no. That's when you activate the ultimate authority, the Complaint Resolution Officer, or CRO. Think of it as the airport panic button for your rights under the Air Carrier Access Act. Every airline is required to have a trained CRO available at every airport. Politely request one and watch how the situation shifts. Beyond the airport, there's the DOT complaint process, your legal record. This is not a suggestion box or social media post. Filling a complaint ensures the airline is held accountable and is legally required to respond within 60 days. Use the precise language. On date, on flight number, the airline denied me a reasonable accommodation under the ACCAA. I requested service and was denied, causing distress and hardship. Here's the psychological pivot. You're no longer asking for help. You're documenting, asserting, and recording your federally protected rights. The power has shifted. You are no longer at the mercy of courtesy or politeness. You're operating within the law. Documentation and clear language create authority, turning frustration into tangible control. Take a moment and imagine your next flight. No longer a test of endurance, no longer a rush, a crowd, a line, a frustration. Instead, you move through the airport with confidence, clarity, and control. Every step is informed, every interaction backed by law, not luck. Airlines have built their business on the hope that travelers, especially those over 60, remain silent, polite, and unaware. Today, you reject that trap. Shame, guilt, and forced politeness have no place here. You are not asking for favors. You are invoking your rights. Repeat this to yourself. This is not special treatment. This is the law. Every right you've learned, the hidden senior fares, TSA Cares, accessible seating, guided assistance, medical equipment exemptions, age-based modifications, pre-boarding, priority during delays, tarmac protections, and CRO escalation add up to one truth. Knowledge is your most powerful travel tool. Now, I want you to pause and reflect. Comment below. Which of these rights surprised you most? Who do you wish had known this sooner? Because the airlines were counting on you never knowing the rules. Now you do. Your next flight isn't just a trip, it's a statement of empowerment, dignity, and control. And every time you travel, you carry not just luggage, but knowledge that transforms the experience for yourself and everyone you care about.